and the ancestors are looking out for us. Todd Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young.
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young.
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lekker.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
If you're new to the channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. The question came up, and we got Rod on tonight, man, at 8 o'clock. That's gonna be lit, man. This right here tape ain't for everybody. We just came to cover a question that we've been hearing going around. We heard Wack put this question out to well, I don't think Wack put it out. Right? We heard people ask this question about the movie Colors, and then did the movie Colors spread gangbanging? Well, it's a sort of complicated thing. Sort of a complicated answer to that. Well, it ain't complicated. It's just that but gangs always existed. You got Jesse James in the gang. You got the posse. You know, they call it posse at one point, right? So it goes. Gangs go back to the beginning of time. I can show you in the Bible where it was a gang that was in the land of Nod. Well, not the land of Nod, in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, where this mob or this gang came to Lighthouse wanting to make whoopee with the Angelica beans. Right? So it was mobs and gangs. It's always been mobs and gangs going back to the beginning of time. Just like in Revelations chapter 12, verse 7, Michael and his angels versus Michael and his angels. Michael and his angels versus the dragon and his angels. And right, so both of those are gangs or tribes or clans, or gang can be synonymous with a lot of words. Right? So gangs been existed. Gangs now, when we get into the colors, the blue and the red, right? Now, you know there's it's other gangs. It ain't just the Crips and the Bloods. It's different sects of Crips, different sects of Bloods. You got the GDs, Vice Lords, all that, right? Chicago gangs. Different cities got their own gangs. You got bike gangs, right? So it's a whole bunch of. The police is a gang. The police is the biggest gang in the United States, right? The police, next to the U.S. military, right, or the Navy Guards. Right. When I was in the military, when we went through initiation, they call it boot camp. In the gang, you go through initiation rituals. You wouldn't call it boot camp. You would call it, we bringing them in. You know what I'm saying? Getting them ready, putting them down for the set, putting them down on the set. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that type of thing. It's the same thing. When you join the police department, you got to go through a ritual of they call it like an intake, what they call it, police academy. Like that's what they call it. Right. So you got to go through the police academy, and you got to you sit up there, and that's how you learn. You trying to join a gang. You got to get hazed and all this as a rookie, right? So it's the same thing in gangs. Now going up into the California gangs. California gangs start with the civil rights, the blacks, police brutality, 1950s, Black Panthers being pretty much infiltrated and took out by COINTELPRO operations. From the Black Panthers, when they dispersed, that's pretty much because if you go back and study the Crips was started before the Bloods. If you study the Crips when they first came out, they were into the same type of uniforms or type of attire as the Black Panthers. And in fact, Raymond Washington, right? Raymond Washington, he started with the Baby Avenues, right? They weren't really Crips, but they wore like soft blue type colors. But they really was into working out, and that type of thing. The Avenues, where they were the Avenue gang, but Raymond started the Baby Avenues. Because he was the younger generation of the Avenues, and then later on, Raven got into it with them guys and started the Crips. And they weren't called his gang wasn't called the Crips at first. They just like the Baby Avenues or whatever, and then they later on got inherited the name Crips. But we brought you on. This is very important. But Raymond was more. Just a lot they ain't telling you about Raymond, of how Raymond really was a fanatic about the Black Panthers. He was a Black Panther fanatic. How these guys were into working out, and that's becoming a thing again now. Well, everybody working out, trying to get swole, right? Raymond didn't smoke. Raymond didn't drink. Raymond didn't do drugs. And Raymond was just as swole. Well, I can't say he was bigger than Tookie. Tookie had a bigger body or structure. Raymond was shorter, but Raymond was swole too, just like Tookie. And he was knocking people out left and right. Grown folks at 16 and 15 years old, going to people's hoods, knocking grown folks out. Right? We're not praising all of this. We're just giving you the history for the people that asked the question. But it is part of a tribal thing. The stuff that they was doing, it might be looked at like a bad thing to some people, but to other people, it's really a tribal tradition to go around and be the baddest I'm the baddest there is. I'm the big chief on the land. The real not bullying people. Well, some people, if you let them tell it, Raymond was a bully to some people. You know what I'm saying? Especially people in his own hood, from what some people said, people across the street. But what I'm making a point is that Raymond got took out by the government. But yeah, that starts the Crips. But they come down from police brutality, protecting their own neighborhoods from old people and little kids or whatever being attacked by police. They had curfew laws and all that. And keep in mind, the police chief at that time, when the gangs was first getting started, he had recruited racist cops from Mississippi and Texas to come up there and be police in California when the Great Migration happened. Right? So that's what it was. And then leading up to Tookie and Raymond, we got the whole storylines on this in the Black Liberation Files. You can go in there and you can listen to the Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington story. And we got Jeff Fort's story and Larry Hoover's story. And we got a whole bunch of other people coming out as well. But hold on. Yeah, so what happens is I think later on, Sylvester and them, they set up the Pyrus are really the original sect that that wanted to go against got tired of the Crips taking advantage of them and taking people coats and things, because Raymond and them was into taking leather coats at one point, knocking people out and taking their coat. Well, you could give over your coat and they wouldn't knock you out. But if you didn't want to give over your coat, you could get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So they was into taking leather coats back then, because the Black Panthers wore leather coats, black combat boots, and which was at one point, I think Raymond made that the dress code, where they had like a certain type of dress or how they were. Then it was the hats, and later on when Tucky was the earring, the cane, and all that, and the blue rag on the left side, all lit. But I know that the Hoovers and the neighborhood cars beefing in Cali, but other places, them too. I'm gonna get into how the gangbanging, the color spread it. That's what we get into, because, like I said, gangs was already in existence everywhere. Going back to, I just made you a whole bunch of examples, like Jesse James and the Gang. And it was a whole bunch of gangs like that, like Billy the Kid and his gang, a couple other people. That was really Nubian. Like I think Billy the Kid was a Nubian dude that they made turn white. I'm telling you, man, that's how dirty these guys are. But yeah. So got the Crips and the Bloods starting in California. It wasn't no different sex. Usually the Crip or Piru, right? If the blood, it really wasn't that many blood sets like that yet. But usually the Crip or Piru. And they used to say, "Oh, I heard an old dude standing over dude's casket saying, 'You gonna Crip or die?'" He was telling the younger kid, right? I said, "Man, the way he's saying it though, but it sound weird the way he's saying it though, Crip or die." Like like somebody had smoked, and they were gonna go back and get their issue for it. You know what I'm saying? That's how he was saying it, because they was at the funeral, right? But it's like this. The government wanted Raymond off the streets because they looked at the Crips as a black militant organization, just like the Black Panthers. So they staged an event, stole a Hoover car to go over and shoot Raymond from the Hoover car. This started the beef. So allegedly from what the storyline, the FBI files. So they could have, some of the stuff blacked out, like the dude who was an undercover agent going around starting shootouts with all the different. He joined the 90 Hoovers and went and had shootouts with other gangs like the A-Trade Gangsters, and then he dropped their gang. Matter of fact, he started the beef. He's the one that shot old boy from the 60s when the A-Trade Gangsters and Monster them was out there. The dude that shot the other brother from the neighborhood car, he was an undercover police working for a program called Operation Crash. Go look it up. Operation Crash. All gangbangers need to watch this tape. Go look up Operation Crash. And he was going around starting shit with gangs, getting into different gangs into shootouts. But they the ones that pulled up on Raymond. And it was also somebody else that was inside right there with Raymond. It was somebody that was right there with Raymond, and they still living today. Or they might have got rid of them. But they had, because they said that when whoever it was that called Raymond over to the car, Raymond understood their voice, or he was familiar with their voice. And so, or it could have been that he was familiar with the car because they were from Hoover. And so he walked up to the car. Boom, they hit him with a 12 gauge. But the thing is, they needed to take out Raymond because they already had set him up to get him in jail. But since they really could never get nothing on Raymond because he didn't do drugs, right? So, and the same way with Jeff Fort. They ain't like that Jeff Fort didn't do drugs or smoke, do no liquor or nothing. These people had sober heads, right? But boom, so that starts a beef with the Hoovers and the East Side. The East Siders, because it wasn't, I don't think it was 60s yet, really. Then it was just the Crips and the Pirus and maybe a couple other blood sets of Piru sets starting off taking sides with the Pirus. But the east side started beefing with the west side, and boom, the Crips and who was beefing, 6-0s, all that. So, but the 6-0s started beefing with the like I said, with the shootout, with the thing, with that Monster was talking about. But all this was set up by COINTELPRO operations to keep the gang thing going in Cali. Now, Colors did promote the gang banging nationally on TV. It played a big role in promoting it. But the main thing that spreaded the gangs is a part of Operation Crash. All right, so in Operation Crash, they were mainly out to all the main gang leaders and the most dangerous ones, right? And so what they would do is they would give them. They started this 3 strike thing, and so what they would do is they would get them arrested the first time, and I think and then the first time what they would do is they would exile them out of California to other states. Like they sent Big U to Chicago. They sent what his name is from Corner Pocket Crip, one of the leaders of Corner Pocket Crip, Too Pretty Kenny. They sent Too Pretty Kenny to Utah. Well, he started a Crip gang in Utah. They had never even heard of Crips out there until Too Pretty Kenny pulled up because he got exiled. He really actually went on the run for the shootout because these Crips, they get into shootouts and kill somebody, then they got to go hide out in another state. Boom, but they start a gang while they out there. So that's one thing they played how it played. Another thing, a lot of gang members got exiled to other cities where they had family members in. And boom, that's how they are. Certain gang members who were big time, moving big weight, they were taking it to other cities. They would set up a gang out there to push their stuff out so they can store. It's like you had a store. If you had a store and then you franchise. So like they start the big time dope dealers who were gangbangers started franchising the gangs out and moving and taking it to other cities. So that's how I get to New York, St. Louis, and boom. And then so what it'd be like that big time from Cali, because a lot of people was getting their stuff from Cali at the time that was on the Midwest, and they would bring it down there, and boom, there'd be Bloods or Piru, whatever. And then the person they selling it to, boom, they say, well, you need to get down in order for you to for me to trust you, need to get down with this set. And boom, he put him down. He become an OG of his city. And then boom, he started recruiting people under his recruit. And boom, there you go. You got a sect the Piru in St. Louis, or sect the Crips, or sect the Hoovers, or whatever. Because Tookie Williams got exiled back to Louisiana, where he was from. He left Louisiana, New Orleans, I think it was, when he was a baby. He went to California, but he got exiled out of California back to Louisiana, to Monroe, and to Shreveport, where he set up the Crips. Their own set. So the Crips out there, you got the Hoovers, 6-0s, all it. So colors played a part in the promotion of it, but it was an undermined type of thing too, as far as exiling the leaders into other cities. And it was mainly about territory and money, like setting up a franchise. So that's why it's like this. I think the original McDonald's started in California, right? So every other McDonald's out there original is just a copycat or a franchise. So that's why some gangbangers in California just don't look at the other people from other cities like a real gangbangers. They look at you like a franchise. You just franchising you wearing a brand. You borrowing a brand. That's how they look at it, because the Hoovers is 52nd the original Hoovers. They got the 90 Hoovers. Shout out my 107 Hoovers, right? So from 107, 106 Hoovers, all my Hoover cars, and then you got the neighborhoods. You got from 20s all the way up to 60s. I think it's always the 90s. I think maybe higher than 90s. I think it's the 90s, 90s, the 50s, the 40s. Shout out to 40s cars. right? That's I think 4 Extra in them is from the 40s, right? The Glove, right? So shout out, but the thing is, like I said, we banging on the wrong people. We banging on our own kind. We banging on the wrong people. But a lot of these people have infiltrated us. They look like us, so they come amongst us, and then they get into a shootout with somebody. Then they disappear. Now the gang beefing for 60 years over somebody that they wasn't even really down with the gang from the jump. Wasn't even down with the sit. Just think about it. Just think about the people that been down with your sit. We're talking to all the cars in Cali and other places anywhere. Just think about all the people that been down with your set that got the gang get the whole gang get to some stuff, but then they really just either just got down or they disappear right after, like throwing a rock and hot and not being I ain't a part of it no more. So it's like that type of thing to keep us keep the game going. You got to keep the game going because it's money in gang banging for the police because it creates crime. Gangs do different things, but not all gangs participate in crime. So you got the good OGs. The good OGs, they're the one that's saying, "Hey man, we need to call a peace treaty. We need to come together and figure out what's going on within these young guys' head, and we need to get this straight out because little kids getting shot in crossfire, things of that nature. So them the real OGs. The fake OGs who are infiltrators who look like us, but they ain't us. They saying, "Oh, we need to go slide. We need to go kill everybody over there." That's the real live gens that's posing as one of us, but they ain't us. Right? Right. Unless see, it's like this in gang thing terms. If somebody a gen, we get rid of gens. You know what I'm saying? We get rid of gens. But retaliation is the main thing that's been keeping the whole thing going. They shoot your people, you shoot their people. It's a never-ending cycle till you completely eliminate yourself. If y'all keep killing each other, when the last person kill each other, boom, y'all be pretty much extinct. The gang banging has been weaponized psychologically to extinct the Nubian race, especially in California, because California is it's a significant area. And another reason why a lot of killing is going on in California and why Compton and all that was a murder capital besides New Orleans for a while is because that's where the real demons came down in Los Angeles, right? That's where they really the real demonic energy. It's a real demonic energy field in California. I'm telling you, man, because the Los Angeles, and they was doing all these demonic rituals. They do a lot of demonic rituals. So you think that voodoo is real heavy in New Orleans, but it's way more heavier. The people because you got to keep in mind, we put a whole tape out called the Art of the Vampires, or the Book of the Vampires. But these vampires, it was another group of beings that were witches, dirty witches that was with them, that was helping them. They created daywalker rings so they can walk in the day. Go watch a series called True Blood. Right? People from New Orleans know what I'm talking about. They know about the voodoo, the real vampires and all that. But they got chased out, or some of them left New Orleans. Some of them went to Utah, hid out in Utah underground. And then some of them went to Hollywood. They set up Hollywood. Hollywood is the #1 witchcraft spot in the whole world. I'm telling you, man. The #1 witchcraft spot in the whole world. That's what you think Hollywood means. It means magical one. I'm telling you, man. People think Von Gill will be making, when y'all know that part, but y'all think I'll be making stuff up when I tell you that. So what you think colors was the colors was witchcraft done out of Hollywood to spread the gang banging more, but put emphasis on it, on what it's about. Because even though people was gang banging, people didn't know how to really gang bang, and people still don't. They ain't really in Cali. Gang banging is hard in Cali, man. Unless you grew up in it, it's really confusing. You better not. You got to know where your block's at. You got to know what store your store. Because if you go to the wrong store, you can get that'll be your last store you probably show up to, right? If you go to a store that ain't on your set, so you got your own store, you got your own grocery store, and usually they give you all this rundown when you part of the Cali net cars. Hey, you don't go to that other store down there because that's the 60 store, and you go around and get caught slipping, they gonna put something on you, cuz. And then boom, that starts another thing. So that's another part of gang bang, like territory wise. You gotta go know where you at. Know where you at. Don't go wearing the wrong color. I remember Snoop Dogg said that Nas hopped out over in his neck. I think it was in Grape Street or somewhere. Like Grape Street Projects. It's like for Crips, right? And he hopped out with all red on. You know what I'm saying? Telling you. So it's that crazy where you can't even when you go visit California, you don't even supposed to wear red or blue. That's the two colors you don't even put in your suitcase. You know what I'm saying? Put black and then they got other people wearing purple and other colors. It's crazy. But yeah, Hollywood is the magical one. So that's how gang banging spread. It spread with a mechanism of several different factors. But like I say, gangs been around for thousands of years. Hitler had his own gang, right? Hitler and this gang. You know what I'm saying? It's been around for a while. Jesse James in the gang, Jesse James in the posse. Some people back in the day in the West, they call them posses. Right? So your posse is your crew, your homeboys, your homies. Right? And it's really a militant. It really is a militant organization because it's a war going on nonstop in California. You subject to get into it because where you from is a prelude to a fade, pretty much. It's a fade. So you gotta like a lot of people got some hands out in Cali. It's a lot of good boxers. Like I remember Ken Norton. I remember somebody telling me that I remember this dude that was Mr. Mundell. R.I.P. Mr. Mundell. Mr. Mundell was used to train with Ken Norton in California. He said that Ken Norton showed him how to do the overhand right. The overhand right is a nice sneaky punch. Ken Norton had that nice overhand right that'll put people out. Yeah, so they don't want to throw the hands up no more. And me, I'll throw the hands with you if I got to, but I'd rather just, hey man, you better get on. I'm gonna tell you one time, you better get on because I ain't playing with nobody no more. I don't got time to play. I'm gonna tell you better get on, and then boom, the next signal is off switch. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing. We ain't got time to play around no more, man. Once you get old folks don't play around. I remember it was a dude that was talking trash to this old man sitting on the porch. The old man pointed his finger. He said, "You better go on now, round the corner." Old boy said, I got something for you, old man. He go back around and come get a gun. Or he go get that gun. See, you don't play with old folks with guns. They'll take you out. What's my favorite Dr. Malachi Z. York book? That's a good one. That's a hard one. I like the top two books. I can tell you my top three, right? Number one, the Holy Tablets. Number two, the Let's Set the Record Straight book. Number three, Man from Planet Risk. Now there's thousands of other books, or hundreds of other books, maybe even thousands of other books that that's hot that he put out. The Black Book. I mean, I could go so it's a long list, but that's my top ones. The Holy Tablets just expand on everything. Then it's like pretty much a lot of books in one book because you got a whole bunch of pamphlets that they just that was separate individual information on a lot of that information. The Holy Tablets is it give you a broader perspective on the whole the whole get down. And by the way, you can read the Holy Tablets for free, and the links in the descriptions for free. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom at the descriptions where it says read the Holy Tablets by Dr. Malachi Z. York for free. Right? Hey, me and Rod gonna be live tonight, man, at 8 o'clock. So you want to tune in for that? Yeah, but yeah, it's always gonna be gangs. It's gangs in the heavens. Like I said, Michael and his angel is a tribe, is a gang, is a unit who are fighting in a battle against the devil and his gang. They say they angels. Angels means messengers. Gang stars. Gang of stars. Right? So y'all some gang, y'all just a gang of stars. And they don't like a gang of stars hanging together. They got a rule called unlawful gathering that they made. Dr. York at his prime. Dr. York was, I don't think he ever reached the prime. But when they arrested him, if you want to say, okay, Doc said that, I'll tell you when I found out Doc said that he had got him. He said, I got him. I put out enough information at this point to where even if they do come get me, it's over. I already got him. And that was during 1997 at the Osiris procession. When he did the Osiris procession, he had the crook and the Pharaoh cross, and he did the ritual and walked around the pyramid ritual. He was letting them know, then I have risen them from the dead. My work is really finished at this point. And really, he retired then. If you go study the court case, he said that, I retired then and gave it over to other people. He still was teaching because Doc, that's Doc. Doc ain't gonna never stop. Just really, he a talker just like me. I like to talk. So he's smart, and then he study all the time. So it's like he always got stuff to say, So in 1997, the Osiris procession, Dr. Malachi Z. York said that he had finished it. Then, to me, based on all the symbolism, you go back and watch that video, and you'll see that Osiris, that Haru's on one side, and the people on his side is looking up with their eyes open, and the other people on the other side, they walking with their eyes closed on Anubis side, representing the light and the darkness, the yin and the yang principle, the Piscean age, he ended the Piscean age. That's really what that hat is about. The Osiris clinics with the Pope and the Nomos, those who claim to know the most. Yeah, but go ask anybody that really know, man. He said he really was finishing up on them 1997 Osiris procession, and he pretty much had gave us enough information at that point to start the effect. The effect had already started. He had already had 6 million people already on it. But the effect of we aware who we are now, because he was built, and then what they really got mad about is when he started building the Holy Land, Tamaray, and he was showing us that this was ancient Kemet. That really ticked them off. The Let's Set the Record Straight book and the setting up of the Holy Land was a really they really hated Doc after that. They said he pretty much told them all the secrets with telling them without telling them. He told us without breaking his oath. That's why I say, for you killer clowns, he never broke, or he never really told us y'all secrets. He always used to say you gotta do that on your own due time. So technically, y'all can't hold him against him with the stuff that he did say, because he was high enough. He wasn't froze. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't 32. He was higher than 32. He was higher than 33, which is walking around like a dog. Doc was 720. So the 32, you froze. You can't talk. Your tongue froze. So he wasn't 32. So you can't hold the 32nd accountable for him accountable for that. He was a grand master, a grand potentate. So he set the rules on the board. That's what y'all scared to say. You killer clowns who got them, who think y'all know about the mounds, but y'all a whole bunch of clowns trying to rock our crime. Yeah, man, but we about to be back, man. We about to get up out of here. We're gonna be back. Free Master Teacher Dr. Malachi Z. York. We'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight with Chief Pontiac, Rod Hayes, Skype 8 at the North Gate. When we knock, you better bump straight. We'll be back. We love you. Peace. One love, one heart. Never have it been made so clear.